remote Scottish islands of Orkney, one of Europe's historic wonders. Along the shores and bays of this rugged coastline, remarkable evidence has emerged of human habitation stretching back 8,500 years.
So we've got more long bone and little bits of rib. Oh, here we are, a little bit of jaw. Coming out there, some child, you see. Child's burial.
The Orkney Island's coastal dunes and cliffs are seeping with the bones of its long dead inhabitants.
We've got a little bit more here. We've got a little bit of long bone coming out, a little bit of rib coming out in that one. As they erode in little bits, and you'll get a bit of shoulder and a bit of arm this year, and then next year you might get the head.
On Orkney's main island, county archaeologist Julie Gibson shows me the latest ancient site uncovered by the wind and the waves. A graveyard, last used by the Vikings and countless generations of Orcadians before them.
It's actually quite rare, you know, to get really good preservation like this.
Fierce North Sea storms are responsible for uncovering the island's ancient treasures, including Skara Brae, regarded as one of the best preserved Neolithic villages in the world. Though excavations started in 1860, it wasn't until the 1920s that the extent of the site was discovered by renowned Australian archaeologist Gordon Child. Professor Child's meticulous archaeological groundwork here, before his death in 1957, was an inspiration for scores of others who followed him, eventually leading to these windswept fields being declared a World Heritage Site. Alice Lyle is the historic coordinator of this remarkably intact village.
Here we have these stone-built structures that we can see and think, you know, someone sat there, someone slept in that box bed, you know? And that, I find that quite eccentric. I think that it tells us something about ourselves in a sense, I suppose. It seems that they were living a relatively good life. I mean, they weren't clinging to existence. Yes, you know, they had time and energy to spare for spiritual life or ritual life or however you want to describe it.
Less than 20 minutes flying time from the main island is the island of Westray, another archaeological treasure trove. Almost 2/3 of its coastline faces the Atlantic, bearing the brunt of its ferocious weather. The relentless erosion continues to unearth significant relics, like this 5,000-year-old clay figurine found just last year and thought to be the earliest Scottish depiction of the human form. While coastal erosion has been a boon for archaeologists, it's also proven to be a curse. And here on the island of Westray, some of the best examples of Neolithic settlements are literally being washed away.
Well, we've got the Neolithic settlement that's behind us, and then over there we've got there's some Bronze Age houses just by the middle distance. You can walk around and just pick up stuff on the surface. I mean, there's lots of things like this which they don't look like very much, but it's the remains of a little scaled knife.
Amidst the fast-shifting sand dunes on Westray's exposed western coast, Graham Wilson and his team are engaged in what the Edinburgh prehistorian describes as a classic archaeological rescue.
I think it just got to the stage where something had to be done about it, because you can't just have Neolithic and Bronze Age houses and settlements being washed away by the wind and the rain. So we've got to do something about it before it's destroyed, before it's too late.
Graham's team is racing to uncover thousands of years of history before it is lost.
So in this part of the site we're actually digging a Neolithic house.
Erosion and rising sea levels were threatening to destroy this site as quickly as it was uncovered. So 2 years ago, a frantic effort was mounted to uncover and remove the most significant artefacts.
It is a race against time here. And we can see the site change year on year and even month by month. You know, this is something that if we don't do this, then it will go.
Graham says the forces of erosion at play in Westray are the most powerful that he has ever encountered.
Physically, the landscape here is dropping. This dune system that we're sitting in is actually being kind of deflated. It's dropping by up to 6 meters. And you can see that every year when we come back, we see new things have appeared, other things have been destroyed and moved on. So it must be the worst case of coastal erosion I've ever seen.
Saddened by the daily grind of this desperate dig against time, Graham Wilson says the Scottish Government should be spending more in the efforts to save Orkney's threatened heritage.
They have limited funds, they do what they can, but there's always more that could be done. Especially somewhere like Orkney, it's crazy. There is so much stuff falling into the sea that you could easily spend more on that. If you value your heritage, then you can't allow it to be destroyed.
This would be 12th century work, this stuff right in the middle, these big round arches.
In Orkney's capital, Kirkwall, Julie Gibson shows me the magnificent St Magnus Cathedral, founded by a Viking earl. She's also critical of the level of funding given to protect Scotland's most endangered historic sites.
Nearly the exact same budget comes to deal with these monuments in Scotland as did when Maggie Thatcher was in power. So it's not gone up by 1 penny.
That sloping section of the seawall is the original seawall that was built in the 20s, and that is part of the site itself that you can see right there on the edge.
As the Orkney's coastal erosion worsens, more experts have been drawn into the struggle to save its most precious ancient sites. Alice Lyle says even the famous Skara Brae is at risk from the forces of nature.
This part you can see here, where you've got this exposed piling, is actually, that shouldn't be exposed. That is damage that we would hope to repair in the near future. But you can see the sea is quite capable of a lot of damage here. We only know that the site's here in the first place because of a storm, so it can be positive as well as negative. You know, nature revealed the site, and we're going to work as hard as we can to preserve it.